Hello and welcome back to Seasons Past, a Last of Us video series. In this series we cover each season, summer, fall, winter, spring, and The Last of Us Left Behind, all leading up to The Last of Us Part 2. When we last left, Joe had taken a fall and was down for the count. When we pick up in winter, he's still down for the count and Ellie's all on her own. Presumably for the first time. There's no Marlene, there's no Joe, there's no Riley. She's all alone. So we start out with this delightful little guy frolicking around in the snow. Oh, look at his little whiskers. Oh, shit! Okay, that is dead. That is a dead fucking rabbit. Okay, so Ellie has food now and Thumper's no longer thumping. Ellie's bloodlust has yet to be satiated as she eyes a deer for her next environmental conquest. And since the last time I played this, it's been a while. I mean, the last half of this entire game was kind of rough because I lost a few steps. So yeah, hunting this deer was a lot harder than I remembered.
Shit.
We finally get that son of a bitch, and then unfortunately we run into David. Look, I'm not gonna lie, when I first played the game, I thought David was gonna be some type of mentor toward Ellie. Not like Joel, but just like in a kinder type sense, like she runs into her Yoda in the woods, and yeah, I thought he was gonna give her some type of speech about getting through the world, and what? Really? There are good old men in the woods. Name one. Yoda. Yoda's one. I mean, that was a swamp, but, you know, he was in woods. That is fiction. This is fictional. This is less fictional than that. Oh, really? The flower-faced people that come up and bite you and infect you? That's more realistic than a laser sword? Lightsaber, and regardless, it's a stupid assumption. You're a stupid assumption. Is that really the best you got? Can you let me get back to this, please? Are you done? Whatever. Are you done? Can I get back to this? So, David. So David presents himself as a sheep, saying he wants Ellie's deer, and they barter a deal so that Ellie can get some medicine for Joe while David can have the deer. They shelter her up, and some clickers come to join them. From there on out, we team up with David to fight some infected. My rust returns. And David reveals his true colors.
Only a few came back. They said that the others had been slaughtered by a crazy man. And get this, he's a crazy man traveling with a little girl. You see, everything happens for a reason.
David allows Ellie to make a run for it, knowing he'll be on her trail soon, and Ellie returns to Joe to administer some medicine. Soon, those dastardly hunters show up, and Ellie decides to lead them away from Joe. She puts up a pretty good fight, but sadly she's captured after losing Callus, and getting surrounded by David's men. She wakes up in a cage where she sees Buddy Boy chopping off some hands. What the fuck? Side note, cannibals are scarier than zombies. Let me rephrase that. Cannibals are more scary than zombies in a zombie apocalypse. Because if you become a cannibal during this time, you are far gone. You have completely flown the proverbial coop. You are something else, you are something worse. The infected don't have a choice to eat people, but human beings, and yes, we are animals, will do what we can to survive, especially in extreme situations. But if something else is walking around that's humanoid and is eating people, and then you decide to eat people, that's just a crazy combination of insanity to me. You've foregone any type of morality at that point, and that's the most terrifying thing to come across, especially in a zombie apocalypse. David tries to recruit Ellie to his side, and Ellie breaks his fucking finger. And then she takes a couple of blows that awakens a sleeping giant. Y'all done fucked up now. So Joe's back on the board and he wants his found family back. So he kills a few folk, as you do, it's The Last of Us, and then tortures a few guys to give up some information about Ellie's whereabouts. And this is one of those scenes where you get really afraid of the main character because you're just like, how many times have you done this, Joe? You have a sense of glee to your torture. What else are you capable of, Joe? How do you know to pop someone's kneecap off? Have you done that before?
I ain't telling you shit.
That's all right. I believe it.
No, wait!
You know, I'm staying on your good side, buddy. On Ellie's side of the snowstorm, she continues shitting on David's day, causing him to think he's infected after she bites him and gets away. Can Ellie infect people? Like, I mean, I know she was just joking about, well, not joking, bluffing about like the bite and everything when David was over her, but like, can she infect? I mean, she is infected. I mean, she's immune, but it's just like, does that still work that way? I don't know, just food for thought. So we switch between Ellie and Joe as the clock ticks for both of them. One is trying to get away from a maniac, and the other is trying to get to his kin before the worst happens. Ellie gets stuck in a burning diner with Fuckface McGee. Fuckface McGee being David. Fuckface McGee gets his vile hands on Ellie, and Ellie gets her hands on a machete, and, bye, David. Once Fuckface is goop, Joe rushes in to comfort Ellie. As horrifying as this scene is, it's honestly my favorite scene in the game. Because Joe finally breaks down all the barriers and admits his love to Ellie. This is his girl. This is his...
Oh, baby girl.
This is an incredibly touching moment, removed from the mission, removed from getting Ellie anywhere. It's just to make sure she's okay. And that's why this season to me is about love. Ellie's love for Joe, keeping him alive and even putting herself in danger to do so. Joe's love for Ellie, no bullshit about moving on or hiding emotions. It's all on the table and he's there for her as a guardian, as a father. This chapter has them both reuniting in the worst circumstances and being there for each other in love. There are also themes about the loss of innocence in this chapter as well. Ellie has come across horrible people, obviously with the hunters in the last chapter, but never on her own. She's never alone and had to bear the entire weight of the world closing in on her with the sole purpose of annihilation. The world isn't as kind as she wants it to be, and she wrestles with that and faces that harsh lesson head on her own. Winter is definitely the darkest chapter of The Last of Us, but it still has that spark of love and devotion that makes it memorable, and playing as Ellie is great. It's so cool seeing things from her perspective, and going through her book bag reveals a lot of things about her past feelings on things like Henry and Sam or Riley. We also get to see a letter from Ellie's mom, Anna, who is definitely in the next game, since they are taking a page from Godfather Part 2, which, by the way, you should read this article. This is a 2-year deep dive on the making of Part 2, and I would definitely give it a read if you're looking to get a little bit more hyped for Part 2, if that is even possible. The reviews have been amazing. Also, there are still links to Black Lives Matter in the info section below. So with all that being said, I'll see you guys soon for Spring, Left Behind, and our wrap-up podcast. To the edge of the universe and back, endure and survive.